This is Trash Panda Publishing. Thank you for joining our podcast, where raccoons talk about books and publishing, and of course, anything related to raccoons.
Well, welcome to Trash Panda Publishing. I am David James.
And I'm Lulu Smiles.
We are the hosts of the podcast. It's been like a week. I didn't post during the week, and I think their last show was... Actually, it's been 2 weeks. We didn't... Yeah, and the reason was, well, for me, I had a lot of stuff going on in my life, and last weekend was just not good. And because I have the recording studio, even if Lulu wanted to, she can't really publish these without me. So that's why we didn't publish last week. But at least for me, things have calmed down a little bit, and I'm going to try to get back into recording like 2 shows a week. Well, here we are. We have a lot of things to go over today. We're going to do some bits of news from me, some bits of news from Lulu. I have a couple of updates and reports on the newsletter stuff that we were talking about, like how did it go? Did I actually get people signed up? Also some updates on how to get your book in front of librarians. And then we haven't done this in a long time. We have some emails from the hustlers that try to get me to buy stuff from them. So we have some good one of those. And of course, we have the Crimson and Ava show. So let's start with the news. So as a reminder, I'm going to be at PAX East in Boston, which is a big gaming convention, March 26th, 27th, 28th, and 29th. I have a booth number now. It's the letter T, TT16E. So if you were there, that is my booth number. It stands for tabletop. That's what the TT means. It's the tabletop room where they're playing games, and it's booth 16 East on the east side of the room. That's where I'll be for 4 days. The other probably bigger news, and I probably should have started with this, is the audiobook is done. I've been listening to it. Tom Garland has done an amazing job. He changed the voices for pretty much every character, and it's great. I haven't even found a mistake yet, and I'm on chapter 101. And for those who've read the book, you know there's 109 chapters plus an epilogue. So I'm almost done. I'll probably be done with it tomorrow, and I will sign off on it. And then I don't know how long it takes Audible to release it, but should be, I would think, out next week. So that's my 2 pieces of news. I know Lulu's been up to some stuff. You want to tell our listeners what you've been doing?
Yeah, so I am still working on book 2 of my series. It's coming along. I'm not sure that I will make the February publishing date that I was hoping for, but it's all right. It'll get there. I think I'm going to do a couple of things a little differently this time around for book 2. A little more concise. And then also, what day was it that I did that? January 30th, this was so scary. I had never gone live on Facebook before, so that was one thing. And I participated in something called the Simple Wisdom Symposium, and that is run by, I don't want to mess her name up. She's one of the authors in our group. Okay, so she's a woman from one of our author groups, and her name is Diane Hallman.
Yeah, I'm looking at her profile now. She was the founder and CEO of Simple Systems for Thriving. That's her.
Yeah, I believe that's
her company.
The book that she had published. And so anyways, I think she had made a post for anybody who wanted to share their simple wisdom. And so I did a little presentation and shared some stuff kind of about my book, but more about, I don't know, getting through, just, I guess, kind of a different way of thinking about certain aspects of your life.
Yeah, I didn't watch it live. I don't think I was watching it live. or maybe I was, but I did watch it, and I thought you did a really, really good job. I could tell there were spots where you were really trying to keep from like either breaking down or like you were really trying to keep your emotions under control, because you would pause as if you were like biting your lip, but you kept it together and you kept going, and I think it was really good. It was powerfully emotional, but you never lost your theme, which was great. And I think basically you were getting little hearts that were coming up on the screen. People were clicking the hearts. I'm looking at the group that you're in. So this is a group for women, and I'm the only guy in here.
Yeah, because I didn't know how to share the information with you, and I was like, well, I'll just send you an invite.
I should probably leave the group. This is a group for women. I'm like the only guy in there.
I think it's great because like you have a specific and very different perspective on women, which not in a bad way, in a good, positive way. So I think it's fine if you're in the group.
I did just leave before you said all that. I don't want the leader to have to feel like she has to boot me.
I don't think she would.
I don't really troll her. So, anyways, if you speak again, I'll rejoin. Okay. How about that?
Yeah, it was. I hadn't done a presentation or done any kind of public speaking for quite a while. So, and of course, you know how I feel about social media. So that was like way, way out of my comfort zone. But overall, I did get some pretty good feedback on it. And thank you, DJ, for your feedback on it as well. And so, yeah, I guess I feel pretty good about it.
It didn't look like it was your first go.
Oh, that's good.
At all. I mean, you didn't. I wouldn't say you looked nervous. I think it was more emotional because you were talking about pain in your life, which is different than being nervous. It was two different things, and I think you really did a nice job. I think it was 12 minutes, I think roughly is how long you spoke. And you were like, I don't know how long. How long did they tell you that you were supposed to go for?
I think it was a 20-minute time slot. And I didn't know exactly how long to speak for because I didn't know if I was going to, need to take time to answer people in the chat or like, that's all I really know about live. Like people can, send messages and you can respond or not or whatever. I didn't know how all that worked. So...
Yeah, there was a point in there where you were saying someone wanted to join and you couldn't figure out, was someone supposed to be on camera with you? No,
but like this message popped up and said, so-and-so wants to join you on camera. So that's why I was like, I don't know. And then when I went to it, it was like, basically it said like technology failed, can't.
I wonder if that would have been someone who wanted to ask a question.
I think she might be like a co-admin or something of the group, something like that.
Oh, maybe to interview, maybe to do this, to ask questions to help spread out the time, perhaps.
But I couldn't figure it out, so.
Yeah. It was funny when you're like, I don't know, and you just went on, so. Well, let me ask you a few questions about your book. So for those that don't remember, I can't remember what episode it is. We went through Lulu's book. She walked me through the choose your own healing component of it. I believe your new book is the same thing, right? The same style. Are you trying to organize it different so it can go on Kindle, or are you still doing hard copy only?
I'm still just going to do hard copy only.
Okay.
I really don't know how to make it Kindle.
So let's ask our audience. Kindle, if you're listening and you know how to solve this problem, and you can message us on Facebook, either Lulu or me, and I'll put we have a Facebook page, the Crimson and Ava page. Just message on there if you know how to solve this. I'm almost positive. Well, I know you can put links inside a Kindle book because my book has links that will take you outside of the Kindle, like to a web page. But I believe you can put links that will like take you back to the table of contents. Now, this might take a ton of work, but if you put, let's say at the bottom of your page, you have a link that says, go to page 2 for this choice, or go to page 20 for that choice. Then on page 20, depending what your choice is, you put a hyperlink that takes you to wherever you want to go. And on the Kindle, you're just tapping it. I believe there may be a way to do this. And I have the software called Vellum, which is the best for doing this. So just write the book, and we will try. As I'm saying this out loud, I think we can turn this into a Kindle book too.
And what about the like the journaling pages? I guess they would just have to kind of keep.
Well, you would tell them, you would say, just write in a journal outside of this book. You'd still, the link would still take them to that page, and you would say, this is your prompt. If you are reading a paperback, fill it in here. If you're on the Kindle, get yourself another notebook and journal in that. That's what I would do.
That's a good idea. We could maybe play around with that.
Yeah, it's worth a try. To make a Kindle version, it's free. It's not going to cost you anything, and we put it up and see what happens. Or we test it. We'll test it to see if it's frustrating. Okay, that's great. Because I want to get your material in front of people, and not everyone buys paper books. A lot of people do the Kindle Unlimited, and I get a ton of reads in there, and I think you would too, because there's so many people have that subscription. I'd love to get your poetry in front of them.
Well, thank you. Yeah.
Okay.
Something we'll work on.
Yeah, I'm gonna test that this week. Just gonna throw some random stuff in there and see if I can hyperlink between pages and see if it works. Okay. MailChimp. So the last time we met, I was trying to build a mailing list. I had 7 people on my mailing list. And like half of those email addresses was me, like my work email address, Crimson Jack Acorn's email address. You know what? I didn't put Ava Honeysuckle's email address.
Oh, but I signed up with Ava's. I think I did.
Oh, you did?
Or I tried to.
You?
If
Cool.
not, I will.
So why do I need to do that? Well, I'm part of this website called StoryOrigin, which is where you can exchange what is called newsletters with other authors that have newsletters. And at first, I didn't really understand what that meant, so I'm going to explain it again. You're not actually handing over your list of names to anybody. That's what I thought they were doing. No, what happens is there are 4 different types of swaps. Swap number 1 is called Advanced Reader Swap. And this is where you basically post your book and you are inviting people to read it before it's public and give you comments. Well, we're just going to skip that because I'm not even looking at that. My book's already published, so I'm not doing that. Swap number 2 is you are willing to give your book away free for a period of time. That's category 2, and I'm going to come back to how that would work. Category 3 is your book is available on Kindle Unlimited, and you want people to know that. That's category 3. Category 4 is your book is for sale, and you want people to know that. Like it's on Amazon or Barnes and Noble or anywhere. Or it's on sale and you have a sale, like 10% off or 20% off. So those are the 4 categories of swaps that are available. So other authors like me, will decide, I want to pick one of those categories and I am going to organize what is called a promo. And I did organize one. I organized one for February called the Clean Romantasy Promo. And there's there's a forum where you can list, and you kind of list the particulars. You describe what are you doing? I'm looking for other authors that have written romantasies that are clean, meaning not smut. I don't want any kind of smut. And here are my date ranges. My newsletter is going to go out on this date. It was February 1st. And I am going to, what I want to include, I'm going to give 3 chapters of my book away free. This is called a magnet. And if you want to also give 3 chapters of your book away free, then you can join my list. And I got like 3 other books that agreed to do that. And so in my newsletter that I sent out, I put those books and with links. And so when I sent the newsletter out to my 8 people, folks that clicked their books basically join their newsletters, and when they take Iskala's Wish and they put it in their newsletter, and it goes out to their mailing list. And if anyone wanted to read 3 chapters of Iskala's Wish when they downloaded, they joined my mailing list. Well, I did 4 of those in February. I did one where I gave the entire book away free to a romantasy one. I did another swap where it was just basically letting people know about Kindle Unlimited. I did the magnet one, which is just 3 chapters. And I did one where it was just the book is for sale. 4 different newsletters. And I went from 7 people in my mailing list to, I'll tell you right now how many people I have. I am now at 45. So it's been 1 week. I went 40 people more. 37 people more. Well, something like that. Which is great. And I can, some people provided their names, not everybody did, and I can see their names and their email addresses, which is great. So I've joined some from February or for March. I don't send the newsletter out every week. My plan is to do it once a month. And if those of you who got my newsletter, I put not a lot in there. I put a couple of pieces of news. There's always a raccoon story, always. And then there was some links to people in our writers group. I put their books too, even though they're not in StoryOrigin. I plugged their books, hoping to drive traffic to their sites. And so, Lulu, I'll do that for your book next time. Even though it's not on Kindle, it doesn't matter. We can still put a link and drive them to the Amazon link. And I'll be doing that again. I'll just be doing this probably forever to keep building my mailing list up and up and up. Now, some of these other people have mailing lists that have 3,000 or 4,000 people on them. And they are switching with me. I have 45 people. So the fact that they're willing to take my book and show it to 4,000 people, and I'm only giving it to 45 people, these are really cool swaps. It's huge. It costs money to be on the website. It's like a subscription. I can't remember how much it is per month, but it's way cheaper than running ads on Amazon. I can tell you that. So that's what StoryOrigin is, and that's what MailChimp is. MailChimp is where I send the newsletter from. That's my 2 cents on that. That makes sense?
Yeah, that's really cool, actually.
MailChimp is also free. If you have less than 1,000 people on your mailing list, it's free. So right now, I'm not paying anything for MailChimp. I won't pay until I have 1,000 people, then I have to start paying a fee for MailChimp. Now, StoryOrigin does cost money, but you could start a newsletter right now and collect email addresses through Facebook. That's way slower, but you could do that. When I go to PAX East, I'm going to have this little fishbowl, and I'm giving away bookmarks. You can get a bookmark and a sticker and a pen if you give me your email address and join my mailing list. And there's 100,000 people coming to the conference. Even if I don't sell any books, I want the email addresses.
Yeah, people tend to sign up for things when they get things for free.
Yeah, email. And I know most people just junk email. For me, and the best part about this is you can pick the category of your genre. It's not like I'm putting Iskala's Wish on a mailing list that's like mystery or children's books. You are joining mailing lists, for me, romantasy. I'm only going on romantasy, so there's a better chance of those readers actually caring about those books, which is the best part, because it's got a little search engine where you can filter by genre. And you can also filter by clean romantasy or smutty rated X romantasy. They actually have those categories. It's called spicy. All right, the next one is indiereader.com. Indiereader.com has all kinds of services. I'm not going to go over all of them, but one of them buried in here is called Distribute. I think it's called Distribute Your Book. Let me click that. No, it's not that. So there's a button here called Get Verified Reviews. And at the bottom of this page is something called Edelweiss DRC. So you've heard me talk about Net Gallery, which I'm a member of. It's the same concept, but way, way cheaper. It's half price. And it is a DRC catalog. So you upload your digital book here, and they have 135,000 bookstores, libraries, media people, and social media influencers, so TikTokers and stuff like that, who are members of this, and they can check out your book and read it and basically write reviews on it, which is pretty cool. Now, they don't have the other website, NetGallery, has 1 million members. This one only has 135,000, so it's a lot smaller universe. But consider this. I was telling you guys 2 weeks ago, the people who are Barnes & Noble and Books A Million and a number of other TikTokers had checked out my book on NetGallery. Only one so far has actually done anything, and it was the Books A Million people had come back and tagged my book as this should be in a store. That's how they scored it. Now it hasn't turned into any purchases yet, but it's been flagged as this should be in a store, which is pretty cool for Books A Million to say that. Now, that all that means is it's up to individual store managers to decide if they are actually going to put that in the store. But only 16 people people on NetGallery checked it out. Okay, Indie Reader. Remember, there's 1 million reviewers on NetGallery, and there's only 135,000 on Indie Reviewer. However, I had 43 people check it out on Indie Reader, and I'm just going to scroll through the list here and tell you the types of entities. How many bookstores? One book. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Barnes & Noble also checked it out here as well. It's a different person. Actually, there's 2 Barnes & Noble, 3 Barnes & Nobles, 4 Barnes & Noble people checked it out. 12 libraries, a number of bookstores that look like they're probably like one-shot deals like Bob's Books. But 43, here's a place called Politics and Prose. I don't even know what that means. I mean, I know what Politics and Prose means. Actually, it's a website. Let's see what that is. Politics and Prose. Why would they be checking that out? It's an independent bookstore in Washington, D.C. So that is a bookstore. So all I'm saying is if you are looking for another way to get your book in front of bookstores and libraries, indiereader.com, and you would click the button called Get Independent Reviews and scroll down to the bottom and hit this button called Edelweiss DRC. It's not really well laid out, but it is the same thing as NetGallery, and it has nearly triple the number of people that checked out my book compared to NetGallery, and it's half price. Also, from a blogging perspective, there looks like there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bloggers that have checked it out. A ton of bookstores checked it out. So I can't tell whether it's turned into any like big sales. I mean, I still get sales every day, but not like 50 books sold in a day, which is sort of what I would expect if a bookstore bought it. But anyways, that's my tip of the day. Anything else, Lulu, you want to hit on before we go to the hustlers' emails?
No, I think I'm good.
How did you survive the winter storm?
Okay. It snowed the other day. Actually, it snowed for like 5 or 6 hours the other day. And I think it dropped, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 inches of snow. So now we have all this snow on top of this like 6-inch layer of ice.
Ooh.
But it's all good.
So how many total did you get that big storm from 2 weeks ago?
Snow? I don't think we got much snow. We literally just got like ice. It's like a, yeah.
Ugh.
It's been like a skating rink out
We got
there.
2.5 feet. Oh, I'm glad we didn't get that. We got 2.5 feet of snow, and then today we got another 6 inches of snow, and it's fluffy snow. It's not wet and heavy. So the wet and heavy stayed with you. The fluff
Yeah,
came
but
over
yesterday,
here.
I think it was yesterday or the day before. I think it was yesterday. Is when it snowed for like 5 or 6 hours, something like that, and it's like, it's really fluffy. Even today, it's like still fluffy. But 2.5 feet, wow. I would not be able to dig myself out of that.
I had to go, luckily it was on a weekend. If it had been a work day and I hadn't been able to go out every couple of hours and keep working at it, it would have sucked because I'd come home from work and I probably wouldn't have been able to get up the driveway unless the plow came. But I went out it was basically an inch an hour because it snowed for 48 straight hours, about an inch an hour. It was a lot. But I like it, and luckily I can physically do it. There'll come a point in my life where I can't do it, but right now I still like it. All right, we have a couple of emails from some hustlers. This has been a number of episodes since we have done those. If you are new to the show, kind of what this show started off with, way back on episode 2, was primarily me just reading these email exchanges between people who would email me trying to sell me crap on our store, which is where we sell T-shirts and things like that. And I would answer back in character as Crimson Jack Acorn III, trying to get them to talk to me about Ava Honeysuckle, and they want to talk business. So we got an email or January 30th that says, this person had been emailing me for a while, and I had stopped doing this because I felt bad, but I was bored. And here's what the email says. The person's name is Favor Williams I'm not going to give you the whole email address because I don't want anyone to spam this guy, but it's his name .hotmail something else @gmail.com. That's his email address. This guy. So he says, greetings. I was checking out your store and hope to ask something. May I know if you are the right person in charge? And I responded back, no one is in charge. We're just a bunch of raccoons. And he replied back and said, a new growth strategy, trust site. It's not a badge. It's a conversion strategy. Stores without it struggle to scale. Now, what he's talking about, Trust Site is a website you can go to, and for $99 a month, you can, I guess, rent a icon you put on your web page that says Trust Site, and supposedly that will make people buy things, and it costs you pay $100 a month for that. And the funny thing is, if he works for them, why is he using a Gmail account? Because he tells me that he can help me get this. Well, I can just go to that website and buy it. I don't know why I would need you. But I didn't answer about that. Instead, I wrote back to him, look, we're only raccoons here, but your email address seems to be having an identity crisis. Is it Hotmail or Gmail? We just don't think you're a serious business person, even a real business person, since you don't even seem to acknowledge or respond to our first email, since nobody actually runs this store. You ignore that and just keep emailing us in business speak. And why don't you have a real domain name if you're a business person, like trustwise.com or something like this? You think raccoons would trust just anyone who uses Hotmail hiding as a Gmail account? And you want me to trust you with trustsite.com? Plus, the only person around here who's hot is Ava Honeysuckle. Incidentally, who are my competitors? Dmitry Gorbachev? I knew it. You must be working with him. Sincerely, Crimson Jack Acorn III. And he has not replied. What do you think of that, Lulu?
That's great. I think that's probably your best response yet.
But this same guy, Eekpoo, we have Eekpoo.
Oh, Eekpoo's back.
He's back. And so this is the guy who emailed us at Christmas and on Christmas Day. And he said, hello, could you please let me know if you ship worldwide? And I wrote back, we're raccoons. We do have morals and ethics. We don't ship to drug dealers, even if they live 2 thickets over. And we don't ship to the axis of evil countries. And we also don't ship to any fans of Britney Spears and that squirrel named Rufus that hit us with one of those split pine cones when we were in 3rd grade. Does that count as around the world? What do you think about that? But he answered, he goes, thanks for letting me know. I appreciate that. I'll keep this brief and practical. And then he launches into this business thing. which I won't read it all to you. So then he tells me how he can make our site better. So then I replied back to him, I'm generally relieved that you sat down here because when somebody arrives carrying that much confidence in themselves, it certainly feels like fate is leaning in and insisting that I start listening to you immediately. I was 4 years old when I realized the world was not built around raccoons. And believe me, every trash can proves it because the lids are just out of reach. Have you ever tried to open a trash can that's metal and it's cold as hurts your hands? Certainly not made for raccoons. And my mother raised me under a porch behind a bowling alley, and she taught me truly important skills like how to wash food that will never be clean and how to avoid looking at headlights so you don't go thorn. You know that book called Watership Down? I'm sure you read it once. Because if you do go thorn, you can get flattened under the wheels if you have poor reaction time. I don't have that. That wouldn't be me, of course. It might be Dimitri. But by the time I was 7, my father disappeared after an encounter with a human being who was holding a flashlight and had an expression that suggested paperwork was involved, and which taught me that some presences leave quietly and just never return. And none of that prepared me for Ava Honeysuckle. You see, I actually wrote all this, by the way. Ava Honeysuckle has a presence that quietly pulls my attention away from whatever I am doing, and I cannot help it. She doesn't rush or scramble. She always walks with presence and purpose, as if Briarwoods was her stage. And she is headed to the stage. She wants to go to the Big Apple. I don't understand it. And I told her, well, in my mind, I told her I care about her. She doesn't want to hear it, I don't think. She doesn't think that I am a mature raccoon. She thinks I'm an imbecile and just I don't know, some kid who's still stuck in 8th grade. Well, I'm not looking for advice or strategies on how to run my website. I am looking for how to explain to Ava Honeysuckle that the best thing that never happened to me was her. Does that make sense? That the best thing that never happened to me is her. Is that a double negative or a double positive? You tell me. Sincerely, Crimson Jack Acorn III. He wrote back, this is trust building that features files that also contain SEO features that will help you get consistent sales. Completely ignoring.
Do you think these are real people or are they bots or what? Like,
they must be. Well, I don't know. I think they're just cutting and pasting emails in here. So my email address, by the way, is headraccoon at trashpandapublishing.com. I have ignored this guy for like a month. He emailed on Monday, January 26th, and it says, hi, head, comma. I revisited our conversation and saw that I left it unattended, and I wanted to follow up calmly and clearly because silence often comes with assumptions, and assumptions are exactly what hold many Shopify stores back. And then he goes on to say, because there's a funny line in here. Where does he say it here? Oh, where is it here? I won a rigorous certification test. And I am awarded a special medal of excellence in fixing visibility. So I wrote back, how do you, quote, win a rigorous certification test? Isn't it just a pass-fail thing? Are you saying that if 50 people all took this rigorous certification test, only one can win and the rest lose? Did you also pass a non-rigorous certification test? You didn't mention that. Humans are so confusing. You know what's rigorous? Trying to stay warm when there's 2 feet of snow covering all my sleeping spaces and food sources. Plus, Ava is not talking to me still. So there's that. Sincerely, Crimson Jack Acorn III. And that was the night that it snowed 2 feet, and he has not replied. What do you think about that? Won a rigorous certification test.
Like, what is
wrong
that?
With that? Well, maybe you could say you passed a certification test, but how do you win a certification test?
That makes no sense.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I wonder if it's actual people or if they just somebody set these up to just be chatbots or whatever, because like I think only one person kind of once responded to anything that you had said related to raccoons.
Yeah.
I don't.
That was Eek Poo Poo 333. He actually talked to us about our
Right.
relationships.
But that was just that one time.
Yeah, he actually was reading my emails and commenting about, I would say I was hurting, and he was talking about trust. Like, he actually, I don't think anyone else reads these. This guy's title, though, Shopify Assigned Collaborator. What does that even mean? I mean, I know what Shopify is. That's our store. Assigned collaborator. Assigned by who? It's such a suggestive term. Maybe next time he emails back, I'll ask him about his
title.
His title. So that's our hustler emails for the day. We're going to do a poem now. Tell me about Emily. Emily Dickinson's one of your favorite poets, right?
I
Do you want to tell us what you know about Emily Dickinson? We'll get the poem open here, if anything, or why do you like her?
Why do I like her? I like her because I like the style that she writes in. A lot of her poems are not very long, so they grab your attention, they keep your attention, and she writes a lot, in my opinion, in like metaphors, and they really just make you think about what is it that she's talking about. You know what I mean? And
yeah, and that's exactly what we're going to do today. Is we're going to read one of her short poems, and then we're going to try to figure out, well, what does it mean to us? And we're not going to know what it meant to her. We have no idea of knowing that, but they are short, and they remind me a lot of your poems that I read in your first book. At least as I'm flipping through her book here, most of them are 2 to 3 or 4 stanzas. And sometimes when you look at poetry, I'm holding it up so Lulu can see here, they don't even necessarily have long lines. They're like 2 or 3 words per line, as opposed to like huge sentences. And I've seen some poets that look like novels, but these are like what I would expect poems to look like. They look they look nice on the page. So the poem we're reading today, if you are so inclined to go Google it and follow along, oh, look at this. It's sticky.
Yeah, it is.
Can you see? There's a frog. So I'm looking at poems of Emily Dickinson in a Franklin Press book, which is the leather-bound books we talked about. There's a picture of a frog in here. We're looking at a poem called Hope. So I'll read it, and then I'll let you react first. Hope. Hope is a thing with feathers that perches in your soul and sings the tune without the words and never stops at all. And the sweetest in the gale is heard, and sore must be the storm that could abash the little bird that kept so many warm. I've heard it in its chillest land and on the strangest sea, yet never in extremity it asked a crumb of me. And that, you may have to Google it so you can see it. It's called Hope. So I'll read it again slowly. Hope is a thing with feathers that perches, so P-E-R-C-H, so like a bird perches in the soul, and sings the tune without the words and never stops at all. The sweetest in the gale is heard, and sore must be the storm. So sore is S-O-R-E, like your muscles are sore. That could abash the little bird, so abash is A-B-A-S-H, that kept so many warm. So that could abash the little bird that kept so many warm. I've heard it in the chillest land and on the strangest sea, and yet never in extremity it asked a crumb of me. Did you find it online so you can read along? Okay. What do you think? What's your reaction to that?
So it's kind of odd that you chose this poem. So I actually have that word hope tattooed on the inside of one of my wrists. Yeah.
Really? We did not coordinate this. I had no idea that was.
Yeah. I don't know if you could see it, but and it's in runes,
Yeah.
Nordic runes. So that's really interesting. So to me, what hope means, and I don't know if this is what she means necessarily, but hope is something that is resilient, that lives within your soul. So I guess maybe that's why I have it tattooed, because like there's.
Why do you think she's using the bird analogy though, with feathers? Is she saying that hope can fly away?
I think so. Yeah, I think the bird analogy is like like a
but look at
like a
go ahead,
bird
go ahead.
can be there in good weather or bad weather. So but it can also fly away, just like challenges in your life can come and go.
My first reaction was exactly that it could fly away. But if you read the rest of the poem, I don't know if it can fly away, because it basically says the singing never stops at all. Basically, there's a huge gale, and the storms of life is like this, the second verse, that could smash this bird, the bird of hope, and that the hope has kept you warm, so that hope inside you has kept you warm. And it's gone through the chillest land, so like the coldest storms of life, and on the strangest seas. So no matter where you are, the strangest situations, yet never in extremity, no matter how extreme your circumstances are, it never asked anything of you. So to me, I think it's with you always. It's not going to leave. But all it's saying is it's just used as a bird for some reason, like perching in your soul. It's not, but I don't think it's going to leave.
Well, and I think that's the thing about hope is, I mean, there are times, I mean, even like through your most challenging times, you could lose hope, or, that nothing is going to get better. But somewhere deep down in your soul, it is still there. But like a bird in the winter, certain birds in the winter, they fly away. So at some point, it doesn't go away. It's still there, but hope will always come back. And it doesn't ask for anything in return. It just is there.
So you're a poet. I am not. And Emily Dickinson was, I believe, a shut-in. She was an introvert, I think, and never really was. I'm going on memory here. She was not known to be a social, outgoing person. So I don't think she had written these poems with the idea that she was going to publish them for money. I don't think. Is that true?
Yeah, I from what I remember too. Yeah, she was very not agoraphobic, but I guess introverted is a good word. And
the reason I ask that is, and this is why it leads to my question: why, or as a poet writing a poem like this, who are you writing it for? You're writing it for yourself?
Maybe, yeah. I mean, or maybe she saw something in the world in her world at the time that brought up these feelings for her. Sometimes, I mean, just, from writing poetry, like sometimes there is an overwhelming amount of emotion or feelings just from like the outside world that like only the paper will understand when you write it down, and sometimes my head gets like cluttered with stuff, because like, I mean, it just gets, even though I don't socialize with many people. I see a lot of what goes on in the world. I've seen, a lot of what goes on in the world, and like my brain just sometimes can't process everything, and the paper and the pen and the paper is the only way that, like, if I'm overwhelmed or angry or whatever, like, that's the way that I channel it. And if Emily Dickinson was kind of a shut-in, then I feel like that was maybe her process as well.
It's a fascinating thing. I'm not a poet. I've written like maybe.
Well, you wrote poetry in A Scholar's Wish.
Well, I'm going to talk about that. So where I was going with that is, yes, there are 3 poems in A Scholar's Wish, but I wrote those poems for plot reasons. And because I needed a song, most of those are songs actually, but of course songs are sometimes written as poems. That was hard because I like poetry to rhyme. I know not all poems rhyme, but I like when they rhyme. But I need to put plot points in the poem that doesn't give away everything, because if you read A Scholar's Wish, a scholar's song that she sings in chapter 7, I think, has to make sense when you finish the book. And in chapter 100 or maybe 99, I can't remember which, it does. It connects back up. But if it's too obvious, then you kind of spoil everything. And then also the same thing, there's another song in chapter 99 or 98 that ties to the epilogue. And that one is not, there's not as many hints in that, but to make it so there's not sappy and doesn't sound like a Hallmark card, it was hard for me. That was super hard. So, but for me, I wasn't writing from the heart. Like the rest of the book was from the heart. That poetry was forced, to be honest.
Sometimes forced poetry is okay. I mean, it is really a process, like sometimes it flows easily, but sometimes it doesn't. I think I shared this with you before that, like, sometimes I'll start a poem and just write, 1 or 2 lines, and then I'll just leave it because I'm like, nothing else matches what I'm trying to say. And like months later, just something will pop into my head and I'll be like, yep, that goes there.
I had this notebook of poems. I started a blog a long time ago, back when blogging was a big thing, like personal blogging. And I was going to write a poem a day, and I did. I wrote 1 poem, and it sucked, and I took the blog down. But I wish I could find it, the notebook, and I'm sure I have it somewhere. Someday I'll find it, and we'll read it on here, and then you can giggle at me how bad it is. I try to be so philosophically deep, and I'm like, this is so forced. But we'll do that. I will find it, and you can laugh.
It's not fine to laugh at it
because I was. But the reason I did it, the reasons were not pure. I was trying to be an intellectual, as opposed to like what you were doing is really just letting your heart reveal itself through the pen. For me, was trying to be cool. I was trying to be Crimson, which actually is a good lead-in to what we are about to do.
Hopefully we have time. I still have some battery left.
Yep. So we're going to transition into the Crimson and Ava show. And for those who are new to this, we don't script what we say. We do talk about the sort of scene, and that's it. The rest is improv. So tonight, Crimson is going to try to impress Ava to show her that he's smart, that he has been studying, and Ava is going to quiz him to see if he really is smart. That is the only thing that we set up, and I don't know exactly. I mean, she's going to ask me questions and see if I have a good vocabulary. That's about it. So, with that, let's get started. Welcome to the Crimson Ava Show, with starring Crimson Jack Acorn and Ava Honeysuckle. Tonight's episode, we find Ava in Briar Woods. Crimson Jack Acorn is going to try to impress her with his learned vocabulary. Well, Ava, I have just finished studying for 57 hours, and I am very smart.
Really?
And this means that Yes. I'll prove it to you. Ask me anything. I know everything.
57 hours, huh? That's really hard to believe.
Correct.
Hard to believe from you, Crimson.
Well, it's true. I'll prove it to you.
All right. Let's do it. Let's play a word game.
Fire away. I know everything.
Okay. Can you tell me what onomatopoeia is?
I am not going to pee on you. That is completely
No.
unacceptable. What kind of what word did you say?
Onomatopoeia.
Is that Indian for you need the bathroom?
Okay, let's move on. How about velociraptor?
A velociraptor. That, I believe it was in Jurassic Park 3. I think it's a beast that is a baby raptor. Am I right?
Okay, you're kind of close.
Well, there's one. I'm a wild animal. I can detect wild animals.
Okay. What about callous?
Callous. Well, you're being callous when you are mocking me. It means you're a little bit. It's like when you are working with a tool and you get that calloused hands and it's rough.
Well,
sometimes you are callous with me.
I guess
wrong?
you could. I guess that's one definition of callous. Working with something and you get rough hands. Sure, we'll go with that. Okay. What about obnoxious? Obnoxious.
Well, you've accused me of being obnoxious, where I perhaps say things that are inappropriate or rude or condescending. Did I just say that? Did I just call myself obnoxious?
Yes, you did, and you're being obnoxious right now because I don't believe that you have studied at all.
But I'm 3 out of 4 so far.
Okay, let's see. What?
I want to go back to this callous business while you find a new word for me. You don't think that you're callous with me? You don't think that sometimes you just throw up a front and you don't really tell me how you feel?
Oh, I definitely don't tell you how I feel. Well, wait a second. No, I tell you how I feel. I think I'm pretty clear. Most times.
Well, I don't know whether that's good or bad news. But it wasn't always like that, Ava. When we were little, when we were both little, we were more nice to each other. What happened?
Well, I grew up and you didn't.
Well, how do you know I'm the same size as you?
No. What I mean is, you didn't mature. I matured. You are still stuck in 8th grade.
Well, ask me some questions that would prove that I'm still in 8th grade.
No, wait, we're not done with the word game yet.
All right, let's keep going with that then.
Okay,
No, I don't put my hand under my arm and do the armpit thing. I'm way past that. That was last week.
That was last week. Just a week ago.
Yes, I stopped.
So in 1 week, you grew from an 8th grader to more mature? I don't think so, Crimson. I don't think so.
Well, it's true. All right, what's your word?
Okay, my next word is Zephyr.
Zephyr. Is that one of those big balloons?
Oh, I'm so done with you right now. I'm so done, Crimson.
Emma.
I've got better things to do.
Well, am I right?
Kind of.
One of the hot air balloons, the one that crashed, and they said, "Oh, the humanity." Is that the one?
No, that is. No, nope. That's not.
Well, I'm now 5 out of 6, I believe. See, I'm smart. 57 hours.
Oh, I'm so done with you right now. I'm so done, Crimson. I've got better things to do.
Well, I went to the library, and they had a very comfortable couch, and I just lived there for 3 to 4 days. And I read some things. For some of that time, I did. I really did. I read raccoon magazines, and also, all right, I'll admit it, I didn't really study. I'm smart. I just don't like school, but I know things. I really do. She just walked away from me. She literally just walked away from me. She didn't even say goodbye. I guess school really means more to her than being smart. I don't know what I'm going to do when she leaves. Well, that is the end of the Crimson and Ava show. Find out next week what happens. Will Ava ever talk to him again when she finds out he was lying? Find out next time on Crimson and Ava show. Well, for what happened is Lulu's battery on her laptop literally died right there, so she just signed off. Her picture went zoop. So it happened. Luckily, it actually timed out perfectly, and I was able to close the scene down there. But that was fun. I love the improv piece. If you would like to join us for improv, to join us for this looniness, craziness, we'd love to have you on the show, to interview you, talk about your book, to talk about whatever. Email me at headraccoon@trashpandapublishing.com. And until next time, stay curious.
Thanks for listening to Trash Panda Publishing Podcasts. And like all raccoons, stay curious.